Hi, welcome to the Tabletop Times. I'm Devin, and today we're going to do an unboxing video for General Orders. This is a two-player worker placement war game by Osprey Games. It's from the designers of Undaunted, which is a very popular series, so I'm really looking forward to checking it out. Let's get started. Alright, so let's go. I went through off camera and I just took all the shrink wrap off with a razor because I just wanted to get that out of the way without all the crinkling, so let's get started. I didn't take too deep of a look here though. So as you can see also, from me taking the box lid off, look how small this game is. It is just the littlest game. So we have first off the rule book. We'll go into this in depth later, but one thing I already am looking at that I like, you may not be able to tell on the video, but the font size, considering how small this game is, like look at that size of my hand here. I thought the font might be extra small, but it looks like they went ahead and made sure the font was decently readable. Looks like there's a lot of graphic examples in here, so we'll come back to this in a minute. Let's keep looking through. The game board. I was curious. I saw it was a worker placement war game, and I saw how small the box was, and I got a little concerned at how this was going to work, but let's look at it. That's not bad at all, is it? It's a decent size. For a two-player game, you know, it's like you don't need a lot of hexagon space here, as long as it's really precisely made where everything's balanced as it should be. That's only supposed to take half an hour anyway, so the amount of space here looks good. The hexes are nicely sized. There's a lot of really colorful art. As you can see also, it is a double-sided board. There are two game modes on here. There's an Alpine game mode and an Island game mode. So the Island game mode has some additional mechanics, and there are additional mechanics in each of them. I'll take a look at that in a little bit, but this board looks good. This board looks good. Beneath that, we have the sideboard, support board, here in a little piece of punch out. It's very easy to punch out. This is going to be set beside the main board. I don't think, oh, there is a reverse side. Look at that. It might be that you use one side for Alpine, one side for the Island mode. I'll have to take a look. We also have a round marker right here. As you can see, it is double-sided. Not sure exactly why. I know those are the player colors, but not sure what maybe you have different first players on each turn, so you flip it over. We'll have to find out. Then we have some other items here. These are bonus space markers. Those are also incredibly easy to punch out. These have some iconography on them that we'll see in the rule book. It explains exactly what they do, but they'll get placed on the board during setup. So they're just kind of a way to randomize the setup so it's not the exact same every single time. Beneath that, it looks like we have the main components to the game, which are all of the wooden pieces. I love wooden pieces. Much better than punchboard for me. Gives everything a nice solid feel. So we have all of your pieces in two player colors. We have a nice navy blue and we have a yellow. This works out because I've recently been playing the yellow color a lot, so I know exactly which side I'm going to be. We have these little hexagonal pillars here. These are going to be your commanders, which are kind of like your workers in this game. You'll be placing them on action spaces throughout. They got a nice feel to them. Wood always does. Next up, we have the land troop discs. These are just some classic wooden discs here. Reason that they are wooden discs, from what I could tell, is as you deploy and move land troops around, you will be stacking them up. So, makes sense to just use wooden discs. Easily able to tell how many troops are in a zone. Next up, we have the wooden planes. Love these. These are great. Instead of going some other abstract shape, they actually made them little wooden planes. Check that out. Pretty good. So, as I was saying about the two map sides, two game modes, the planes are only for the island game mode. If you're playing the Alpine game mode, you do not use planes. You just use land troops. We also have that in Navy, but I won't pull them all out. Look at every single one of them. What else do we have in this box? Let's see. We have additional plastic bags. We will add that to our giant collection of plastic bags for every board game we have, because they always come with a bunch, but we already have some, so they just end up collecting in a big box. We'll just set that aside, and that's where they're going to go later. We have some custom dice, it looks like. So the way these should work, from me reading the rules briefly online, there are, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 single hit spaces, a 2 hit space, and a blank. During certain abilities, like ability card resolution, or during defense, things like that, certain actions in the game will require a player to roll dice. They'll use those hits to probably remove either land or air troops, and then we continue with resolving whatever the ability was. But it's just some custom dice. They've got some good heft. They're nice quality dice. The print on them is really good. I don't think you can see it. Let's fix the focus here. There we go. Kind of get a look at them. Got a little starburst hit marker kind of thing going on. There we go. That's a good focus. So they look pretty nice. Good dice. Good dice. Lastly, I took these out of the shrink wrap earlier, but these are the cards. So we come with 2 little helper cards here. We've got the round structure and action iconography explanation on one side. Very helpful. One for each player. The other side, we have an explanation, a deep explanation of all of the area bonuses. So those are these little rectangles we got earlier that end up randomized and put on the map. These cards just explain them, so you don't have to keep checking the rulebook. You can just glance over. But even then, the iconography seems like it's pretty straightforward. It's plus sign with 2 troops. Probably it's when you recruit troops, you get 2 more troops. So it seems pretty clear. We have those 2 reference cards, and then we have all of these operations cards. So the back, just plain green. Solid, it's just plain, no art. Kind of weird to me because the rest of the game has a lot of art going on, but they just went with the plain green for these operations cards. On the other side, there is actually some very nice art. You can check that out here if I can get it out of the shadow and out of the glare. Some very cool art on these, but these are essentially going to be cards that are in your hand, kept secret, and you'll play them and resolve them whenever it's appropriate. One thing I would like to point out with these, let me find a couple here. So, as I mentioned with the multiple map sides, there are rules that you'll use for one map side and components for one map side that you won't use for the other. So, here we are. Whenever you are playing at all, you'll always include cards that have no icon in the top right. Those are always included in your operations cards deck. The cards that have the mountain icon will only be included when you're playing the Alpine map. Cards with a little palm tree, those only get included in the island map. So it kind of makes a custom setup, custom scenario situation. It looks like we have a few of each card here, because this is going to be a public deck when you're playing. So you'll be shuffling these, putting them together. Go check out some more art from it. It's very nice. We have 2 blitz cards, 3 ambush cards, 3 counterattack, 3 mobilize, 3 ground assault, 3 artillery strike, 3 airstrike or 2 airstrike, 2 airstrike, 2 wingman, 2 intercept, 3 anti-air, 3 airborne assault, and it looks like there was a 3rd blitz that I missed. There you go. It's mostly 3 of each card. A few of them only have 2 of each. It's a decent amount of cards, though. They're good quality cards. Good quality cards. Thick card stock. It's kind of like that plastic vinyl-y feel on a lot of Stonemaier games. It's kind of like that. It's good stuff, though. Lastly, that is everything in the box. Check that out. It's not a lot. I'll briefly look at this rulebook. So we have the components, game modes on one side. Goes into a explanation of the board. This is a little washed out here. So what I will say while I'm flipping through, you may not be able to see everything. This is setup. Is you can also access this rulebook online at the BGG or Board Game Geek page for general orders. The rules are available for download for free there. So you can always go there and download it, read it yourself, see how you like it. How to play. We have the round structure here. Round structure is very simple. It is deploy commanders, recall commanders, and advance a round marker. The game plays over 4 rounds. So it's a very quick game. It plays in half an hour, or at least that's what it says on the box. Game ends, you check victory points, which is decided by which areas you control on the board, or you can end the game earlier if you control your opponent's headquarters. Goes over some important concepts like control and supply. This game actually wants you to have a supply line to the front line. So you're going to be trying to make a line from your headquarters to the front line that's a controlled zone, like continuous area. And you'll gain bonuses for that. And whenever troops get cut off from your headquarters, you'll lose those bonuses. This goes over actions. Goes over each of the action spaces on the board, which I'll show you in a second. Goes over to how to resolve conflicts whenever troops are entering each other's spaces through air and land. Goes over the anatomy of the operations cards. Very straightforward stuff. Goes over the area bonuses, which we saw on the support cards over there. The reference cards, I should say. And then it goes through an example turn to help you put all these concepts together. Honestly, it's a very nice looking rulebook. It seems very straightforward. As I said, you can download this online that we can get a better look at it. For now, let me fold this board out. I'm going to kind of do a faux setup here. Kind of give you an idea for how much space it takes up. It doesn't take up a lot. So let's say I was playing the Alpine game mode here. I would set this up. There is a headquarters space on each side. It's this yellow one here. Whoop, there we are. And this navy blue one here. That's each player's side. So a player would sit on the long ends of either side of this. As you can see, there are also some pips on some of these hexes. Those are starting troops. These are the victory points that these areas are worth whenever you control them. And these black hexagons all over the board, those are actually your commander spaces. You'll notice a lot of the ones on the board have the same icon. That is advance. That lets you move troops, move land troops, I should say, and initiate conflict and resolve conflict. So those are the main actions on the board. But there are other ones that you'll also find on this board. So these are some actions that you can take with your commander that don't involve just moving troops and that's it. So there's actual worker placement aspects here, because if I take this space, now my opponent can't go there, at least not until the next round when we clear our commanders off. So what you'll do is you'll have your troops on the board and you'll be doing simple actions such as placing your commander on one of these black hexes. I guess I should say that one. And I would take like a number of troops, move them here, resolve conflict. And you just kind of go like that, go back and forth. One thing to note is like in this space where I've moved my troops forward, I've entered here, but to move into this space, I have to place my worker here. Since my worker is here, my opponent can't enter this space. There's no way for them to also play their worker on top. Kind of makes it where once you've moved into a spot, you kind of secure it for yourself for the round. So it seems like it has a nice little tactical aspect to it, a lot of strategy with you wanting to keep a supply line from your headquarters to whatever is considered your front line. A lot of the victory point spaces are in the middle, so it seems like you're going to have to really plan who's going to control these spaces at the end of the game. This sideboard would just be here during setup, or during play, I should say. and then the deck of plan cards would also simply be nearby. There's a standby area. I haven't gone over exactly how that works, but there is a standby section for you to secure some of your troops or commanders. I'm not sure how it works. This is an unboxing. I haven't actually read the rules completely yet. I did a quick read through. Anyway, this is about how much space it would take up. There'd just be a supply for you nearby on the board. You'd have the board, support board, and the deck of cards, and that's it. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty good tactical strategy experience for 2 players. I'm really looking forward to trying it. We've always wanted to try the Undaunted series. We never got around to it. But since this is from those same designers and this is a worker placement kind of game, which is an aspect we both like, or a mechanic we both like, I think we're going to really enjoy this one. Thank you again for checking out this unboxing video. That pretty much covers everything that came in this box. Please check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, on Board Game Geek. We have a blog there that we keep up to date. We are the Tabletop Times, and thank you again for watching. Have a good day.